And welcome back to the Crochet Crowd, as well as my friends over at yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to do the School Colors Crochet Afghan. Think about those school colors, whether it's a kid going off to college, university, or maybe just even somebody in regular school like preschool or high school and wants to celebrate their colors of their school. Today we're going to do this textured Afghan that is absolutely fun. This video has sound alerts added. When you hear this sound, it will be your signal that the segment is finishing up. Press stop and crochet the instructions and then press play again to continue along in your project. So in today's pattern there's different versions that you can see here, and what we have is we have a bit of texture that comes down through here, and then we have just some regular work going up into the green here. So you have to decide which colors that you want to really kind of have a lot of fun with. So here is an example that I worked on, and as you can see the regular areas here is just like back posts only of just half double crochet, and then we get into this fun arrow stitch kind of idea, and those are 4 rows of that, and then we return back to the regular work. So the arrow stitch is just a one-sided pattern, so if you look at the back it's still just as desirable, and you can see it's nice and flat other than this textured work right here. So it's really kind of a neat pattern. You're going to use Caron Simply Soft yarn in order to play today, and there's so many great colors within this yarn line that you'll probably find your school colors, maybe even church colors or team colors when it comes to working with this kind of pattern. So without further ado, I'm going to break down this pattern for you because I did a diagram and I figured out how to change the size too. So originally when I saw this I thought it was going to be a lot more complicated than it was, and then I thought I wasn't going to remember, and then I did. And so what I did is I came up with this diagram here, and this shows all what is happening within this project. So we're going to start off just with some chain work, and then we're going to do some half double crochets for row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then what we do is these arrow stitching for 2 rows, and they kind of come together, and then 2 more rows of it, and then we return back then to kind of coming back here. So we go all the way to 13, and then we return back then through 2 through 7 again, and then up through here these 2, and then return back. So it's kind of like a typewriter, like, you know, you have to click on your keys and then it comes back. So you just have to work your way over and over and over. So one thing I want to tell you right off the hop is that the area that you start off with in the very beginning is a little bit more smaller than this area here in the middle, but then once you get to the other side of this, when you go to finish it off on the other side, it's a little bit smaller again. So all the stripes in between, unless it's the outside edges, will always be this size, and then the ones on the very outside on the first and the last section that you do will always be slightly smaller. So on the instructions, it's actually going to be page number 2 that has everything that you possibly need. You can see it's not a very complicated pattern. It's just about repeating steps. Remember what I said to you, the very starting one here is slightly smaller than the stripes that are in the middle, as you can see here. So you can go as big or as small as you want to. So what happens if you want to change the size? Let's go back to the diagram and let's talk a little bit about that. So the pattern is suggesting to chain 168 if you would like to make the exact sample that is in the model. But if you chain in multiples of 4, there's no plus number, so just go 4, 8, 12, 16, and etc. You will always end up with being able to complete this one. So it's always in multiple sets of 4. So if you can either do the size sample, or you can just chain in multiples of 4 to the size chain that you want, and then you can carry up in this pattern. So we're gonna get started then, and we're gonna carry along and do the very first one here, and then we have to repeat rows from 2 all the way to 13 over and over and over. So right from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 is just all half double crochets in the back loop only, and then right in the next one here, when we return back to the half double crochets, the first time is not going to be in the back loops because it's right next to the arrow kind of stitching here, and then we return back to the back loops into in number 13. So what I put in here in the side of instructions is 2 through 7 plus the number 13 row is in the back loop only, but in number 12 here there's no back loops required in order to keep it in balance with this particular pattern. So it's kind of a neat idea. If you want to take a screenshot now's your time to do it, and you can grab this for yourself and then print it off. And also I put in here is that there is a crossover that happens. See how it's crossing over, and it says in the front. So what we have to do is that when we do the crossover, when we do that, we're going to come over, and then these 3 are going to be in the front of this crossover. So we do the crossover, and then the next 3 are in front of that. So when we go to flip it around and do row number 9, it says behind. So what we have to do is we have to do that one there, and then we do these 3 behind that one here. And why that matters is that when you're going to work on this, you want to keep this one that is going up on an angle on the same side. So on the one side, when you go to do this, when you go up, you're gonna actually be like this. And so we do the crossover, and the first ones are in front. So these three are in front, and then when we get all the way across and we turn it and we come back, is that we do the crossover just like you see it here, and then these three are in the back. So that's why it says in the front and in behind, just like there. So without further ado, let's do a small sample and show you how to work this pattern today. So let's begin today's pattern. We're going to start off with a slip knot, and you can either chain 168 if you wish, or you can do multiples of 4. I'm gonna do a multiples of 4 only for a sample, and I'm only gonna do 12. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So there's one multiple. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's another multiple, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that is actually a total of 12. So you can just do small samples like this if you wish. Actually, you could do a beautiful scarf in a smaller sample like this as well. So once you either get to your 168 or just any multiples of 4, then you're good to go. So let's go through row number 1. So now we're gonna start going across, and we're gonna go third chain from the hook. So just count back. So 1, 2, and 3. Get the back loop only, and I want you to half double crochet into that back loop and pull through, and then pull through all 3. This chain that you started with right here doesn't count as anything, so make sure you don't count that as a stitch. And what I want you to do is that I want you to half double crochet in the chain all the way back to the other side. So please do that for row number 1. So I'm coming into the very last one here, and then that's it. We've run out of stitches. So we're gonna turn our work and then move up to row number 2. So rows number 2 through 7 plus the number 13 always have to crochet in the back loop only. So to begin each one of these rows, because they're all the same, is that you're gonna chain 2, which does not count as a half double crochet, and you're gonna go into the back loop only. So looking straight down, you'll see that there's 2 strands. The strand that is closest to you is the front loop, and the strand that's furthest from you is the back loop, and together they make up the stitch, right? So it says I want you to half double crochet in the back loop only. So just wrap the hook and go and dive into the back loop only, and then pull through, and then half double crochet as normal. This is gonna create a ridge. So in the next one, once you start the first one, they all become really easy, and then just back loop only. And what you want to do is that rows 2 through 7 are gonna be identical to this. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna show you this one more time, and then I'm gonna have you finish all the way to number 7 for me, and then I'll show you how to do the arrow stitch work that is consisting of 4 rows. So do rows number 2 through 7, and I'll just show you how to turn one more time in just a moment. So you're coming up all the way to the end, and you got one more stitch left, and you're in the back loop only. That's good to go. So to turn your work, just turn it. So we're gonna go for row number 3. So chain 2 does not count as a half double crochet, and in the same one you want to half double crochet in the back loop only, and you're gonna go all the way across your row like that. So what I want you to do is that I want you to finish this row, which is number 3, and then do 4, 5, 6, and 7 all within the back loops. And I will see you back here in just a moment once that's complete. So I'm at the end of row number 7. So here's the distance that we have, and yours obviously would be a lot longer. So what I want to do is that I want to finish off this yarn first. Okay, and what I'm gonna just do is cut this, and what I want you to do is take this yarn now, and I want you to weave it through. So pull it through that existing loop, and that'll lock it into position. And then I want you to just go in and out of the stitch work and just drag it through to weave it through. And the next row that we're about to do is that we are going to then bury that underneath the stitches so that you don't have to worry about any loose ends. So continue just to weave in your ends for about maybe 2 inches when you feel comfortable. Obviously the shorter the distance you go, the more chances are it can fall out. So longer distance means that it can lock in. Once you have that done, I want you just to leave it on there, and I want you to turn your work, because we're now going to begin row number 8, 9, 10, and 11. So those are gonna be the fancy footwork, and I'm gonna review that back on the diagram now. So I'm back on the diagram, and we're now just finished up row number 7, and now we're going to begin the first one. So we're gonna chain up 3, which counts as the double crochet, and then we're gonna extend over to the 4th one. So we're gonna skip 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to treble over all the way over there, and then the next 3 are going to be in front. So 1, 2 and 3, and I'm gonna show you how to peel that back to access that, and once you get used to it, it's really quite easy to do. It takes a little bit of getting used to. And then once you have that done, you then skip the next 3 again, go up on an angle, treble, and then the next 3 are in front, and you keep doing that all the way through. Then in the next rows, then we have to then go in the back. So we chain up 3, we come on over and do the treble on the side, and then these are in the back, and it becomes really obvious once you begin to work on this as well. So let's begin row number 8. So let's begin row number 8. I want you to do a couple things first. I want you to create a slip knot, and we're gonna lock this in a position, and what I want you to do is that I want you to go into the very first stitch that you have, and I want you to insert your hook in, and yarning over with the one going to the yarn ball, yarning over, pulling it through and through, and that just fastened on, and I want you to chain 3. So 1, 2 and 3. So now what I want you to do is take this, make this a little bit bigger, take it off, and now take this strand here, and now just weave it in and out of the stitch work like you just did in the other one. I found with this particular pattern that if you can weave it in now, it's it'll trap it underneath itself really quite easily, other than leaving it out. So you're just gonna weave this in maybe about an inch or 2. It's already gonna have a knot when it starts, so you don't need to go too crazy with it, and then once you're satisfied, just put this back onto the hook and begin. So we're going to skip over the next 3, so just make sure that this one that you see here, you're just counting your stitches right. So we're gonna skip over 3. So 1, 2 and 3, go to the 4th, and I want you to treble, so you're gonna wrap that hook twice, and then you're gonna go into that 4th one over, and then just treble. So pull through 2, 2 and 2. So remember what it says on the diagram, that the next 3 are in front. So the next 3, see they're 1, 2 and 3, those are gonna be double crochets. So you're going to peel this back, so just wrap the hook first, and then going into the first one, and you're leaving the treble so it falls in behind the work. Okay, so you're just peeling it backward, and then you're just double crocheting. So you do 1, and then you do its friend right next door, and there's 3 friends in a row, so it's 3's company, and then you do the final one here. So you just make sure that you peel back that treble. So these 3 are now in front. So the pattern is actually starting on the angle in the back. So then you're gonna skip the next one. So see how this one is already taken up with this angle? So that's not one that you have to include. So you have to skip the next 3. So 1, 2 and 3, and then I want you to go to the 4th one over and treble, and you do that all the way across the same manner. So again, this one here, now that you can see this, you can see that this treble has to stay on the other side. So you have to access the ones that you skipped, so 1, 2 and 3, and just kind of peel it back out of the way, and just double crochet those 3. So 1, and you will get used to it, trust me. And then that's it. So once you just do that all the way across, and then once you get to the end, the last stitch is just a double crochet, like so. So when we go to turn it and start up row number 10, you can see that these angle ones are already ready for you, and they're in the front. Now that you've done this, I want you to get rid of these strands now that you've buried them underneath. They're out of the way, nice clean look, and you want to begin row number 9. So row number 9, we're gonna chain up 3, which counts as a double crochet, and we want to again skip over 3. So 1, 2 and 3, go to the 4th. Here's the trick. See the one that's leaning over? That is the 4th. Every time you see that, that is the 4th. So we're gonna treble into that one all the way over there, and this time the one on the angle needs to stay on the front, or if you put it on the back, then it will appear on the back of your project. So what you want to do is you want to wrap the hook and move in behind that one to access the 3 that you have skipped. So peel it forward out of your way and double crochet the 3 that you have skipped. Just like that. So now you can see that the angle has stayed on the front side. So then you start the next one then. So treble, skipping to the fourth, and you do this all the way across. So the fourth one is the one that is leaning over. So you're gonna treble that one, and now you're gonna peel it forward. So just wrap the hook, peel it forward, and then access the 3 that you have skipped. Just like that. And now that's it. So you're gonna go all the way in the same manner, and the very last one you want to double crochet in the turning chain. Go right into a chain, don't go into a gap space in order to keep it looking equal. So that was row number 10. So now you gotta do another set of these one more time. So you turn your work, and let's do row number 11. So we're going to chain up 3, and what we need to do, sorry, this is row number 10 that we're about to go to now. Sorry, I apologize about that. So we're now going to start up, and you can see that the project working is on the back side of it. So this is the good side. So we're going to chain up 3, skip over to the 4th, and you can kind of see it that this angle one is kind of always kind of out on its own, and you're just skipping over to the 4th for the treble, and then you're gonna keep that in behind, and you're going to put the next 3 so that it's in front of that one to keep that on the back side. Just like that. So now that just kept everything on the back side. So then you skip over and do the next section. So just treble, skip to the 4th, again just kinda look for it. So 1, 2 and 3, go to the 4th, and you do that all the way across your project. And to keep it on the other side, you peel that backward and do the other 3, and that permanently keeps it on that side of the work. And once you have all the way done across, the final is just a double crochet in the turning chain. So let's turn our work, and now we're back on the good side of the project. So you can see that there's a side of the arrow missing, so we're gonna do that now. So just chain up 3, so 1, 2 and 3, and again skipping over to the 4th for a treble. And what are you gonna do with that treble? That's right, you gotta peel it forward. So now you're gonna double crochet in the 3 that you skipped, and keeping that forward so it stays on this side of the project. Just like that. So you keep on going across like that. So just treble again, so skip the next 3. You can see it's the one with the angle anyway. So once you can see that visualization, it becomes really quite easy. You're gonna peel it forward to get it out of your way, but keep it on this side of the project, and double crochet in the 3 that you had skipped over. So once you get all the way to the other side, all you're just gonna do then is just double crochet in the final turning chain. So that would be it, how to do this section here, but we have to return back and start this once again. So to finish this off, we're just going to trim our work, pull it through the loop, pulls through, and then just weave it in and out of some of the stitch work. And then you're gonna reintroduce that other color back. So most school colors and teen colors are really kind of 2 dominant colors, but if you want to add 3 colors then, or 4, you just have to be selective on where you put it. Okay, so now we're gonna turn our work and get ready to return this back. So rows number 12, every time you hit it, is the only row that you don't have to worry about doing any back loops when it comes to any of this stuff. So you're just gonna attach it to the very first one, and then chain 2. So 1 and 2, and just working your way across, you're gonna make sure you do the first one, because that chain 2 does not count as anything. So it looks like there's 2 stitches in there, but it's not. And then you're just going to half double crochet yourself back across, and you can see that I'm burying in that yarn tail as I go. You can do it like this pretty easily. So once this row is done, we're gonna do row number 13, and row number 13 is the final conclusion of the repeat pattern before you return back to row number 2 way back below and restart everything. So you go back in the last turning chain here. So that was row number 12. So turning our work, we're gonna return back to the back loops again. So chain 2, so 1 and 2, into the same one but into the back loop, and you're just gonna back loop yourself all the way across, and this is row number 13. So what you're going to do for the remaining of this project, as I get myself over there and I want to explain this to you, is that you're going to repeat rows number 2 through 13 over and over until you are satisfied, or if you're following exactly the pattern, until it tells you not to. So a thing to watch for then is, okay, here we go. So we're done. So what you have to do is that you have to keep repeating. So you're gonna start back on row number 2, and so row number 2 all the way through 13 again, and this is why this section here is a little bit longer, or a little bit wider in the middle of it when you look at it from a different point of view like this. So what you're going to do is that you're gonna go, and then you're finally gonna get yourself to the very end of your project. Now the very end of the project, what's gonna happen is that you are going to finish off a few rows earlier. So the very last row is that you are going to do rows number 2 through 5. So you finish all the way to through to 13, and then you go 2, 3, 4, and 5, and you're done. So you don't go all the way back through 13 again, because then you'll create another section like this. So you just want to keep on working like that until you get to the section that you need to go, and then what we're gonna do then is that we are gonna show you how to do the edging, and it's just one basically round all the way around using your main color, and in my case it would be purple. So in the diagram you're going to see the project like this, and you're gonna see that it is the width that you want. So the border is only gonna be on this side and this side. It's already kind of done here. It's the same kind of color. So what we have to do is that we have to work our way across, and we have to go and half double crochets all the way up through the one side, and you just have to make it look good. You just have to equally space it, and then once you get that done you fasten off and then do the other side. You do not worry about the outsides like so. So to do this you're just gonna use the color that you prefer. Use the main color if you wish, and then I want you to attach it with a slip stitch to the outside one on here, and you're going to fasten it on, and chain up 2 does not count as anything, and into the same spot I want you to half double crochet. So the trick to doing this is that you want to make sure that you go into chain work, and you just want to equally space things as you go. So there's kind of no exact science to it. It's just a matter of making it look good. The whole goal for this is that if you sit it down and you can see that it's starting to ruffle, it means that you are putting in way too many stitches and you're not moving far enough in advance. And if you see if the work is starting to pull, then it means that you are not taking your time and going across. So you want to be pretty strategic about this as you go all the way across. So you can see I kind of created a gap there, and that's because I'm trying to rush myself too much. So you want to just kind of eye it up as you go, and then once you get to the other side you're just going to fasten off and then just weave in your ends, and then you're gonna do the same with the other side. And so it's just a matter of finishing this off and then doing the other side, and then your Afghan is complete. So this is how to do the school color Afghan. It's really quite an easy pattern to be able to follow. I love doing the stitch work here, and I thought it was pretty cool. So until next time, have a great day. We'll see you again real soon. Bye bye.